Hey guys, this is Heather. So I've got a bit of a mess going on here, but it's a good mess. I am surrounded by all of these amazing ingredients like chia seeds, quinoa, flaxseed, all that kind of stuff. And what I'm going to do is show you how to take all of these wonderful things and make them into a delicious and healthy square. Now you could make them into balls, you could make them into spheres or cookies or whatever kind of shape you want, but I am making squares because I was honored to be asked to be part of a campaign for Squarespace, which if you have not heard of them, they're one of the best platforms for making your own website super easily. It's all visual, so you don't have to know any HTML or anything like that. And I'm so jealous because it's really, really easy. They have all of the visual tools to create your website, and then getting a domain name, getting hosting, getting an online shopping cart set up, it's all super simple. So in honor of Squarespace, I'm going to show you how to make these amazingly delicious and fantastically healthy squares. And the theme that I'm going to do is omega-3. So Squarespace campaign has the theme of a better web starts with better food. And one of the things that we can really do better on is omega-3. There is a ton of omega-6 in a standard American diet. And the really important thing, we all hear about getting omega-3. Both omega-3 and omega-6 are super important, but it's the ratio that is really important. And because there is so much omega-6, we need to get enough omega-3 to balance out that ratio. An ideal ratio is about 4 parts omega-3 to, reverse that, 1 part omega-3 to 4 parts omega-6. And what actually winds up happening is we have 1 part omega-3 to 16 parts omega-6. So there's 4 times more omega-6 relative to the omega-3 that we need. So if we boost up that omega-3 side, we're going to be back on a good track. So I've got some amazing ingredients that will help boost your omega-3 in ratio to omega-6. So we're going to start with some nuts and seeds. All right, I'm going to start with some flaxseed, which is one of the best for boosting your omega-3 because it has about 4 times as much omega-3 as omega-6. So it's the opposite. It'll tip you back in that right direction. Next up, I'm going to add some chia seeds, which are just as good as flax, but they're way more expensive, so I just don't tend to use them quite as much for cost. Hemp seeds are another fantastic source of omega-3. They have the correct ratio of 1 to 4, so they won't help tip you back in balance, but they will help give you some omega-3 in general. Next up are some walnuts. Same thing, they have a good amount of omega-3. They don't help tip the balance, but they are fantastic to add nonetheless. I'm going to add some dates for sweetness without sugar and some nice stickiness to actually make this into a square rather than just some ground up nuts and seeds. Make sure if you get whole dates that you take the pit out. Otherwise it's going to be a little crunchy. I'm going to throw in some carob powder for flavor and a little bit more sweetness. You can add some cocoa powder if you prefer, but it's not as sweet, so you might want to add a little bit of maple syrup or some extra dates if you do that. And last but not least, some quinoa, because it's awesome. Oh, one last thing, I wanted to put in some greens powder to give it an extra little boost of healthiness. And this one has berry flavor in it, so it tastes really good too. All right, put the lid on and give it a blend. At some point, you're going to want to take the top off and make sure that everything is getting mixed evenly, which is cool because then you can also give it a taste and make sure it tastes good. All right, folks, I think she's ready. So this is quite sticky and thick and delicious. It's kind of like a Larabar, but you made it yourself. You can fold in some extra quinoa if you like. That's another thing I like to do, or some puffed rice or puffed millet or something, just to give it more texture, but it's really quite nice just like this. Okay, so wet hands, and then I'm just going to press this down and pop it in the fridge for a few minutes to make sure it gets solid. All right, and once you've had the patience to let them sit for a few minutes, just cut one out. And while you are enjoying your fantastically delicious, amazingly healthy square, you can go check out Squarespace. I have the pleasure of offering you a discount from them. There's a code down below with the URL, so go check it out. If you're thinking of starting a website for yourself, this is a great way to do it because it's so easy. All right, hope you enjoy the squares. Share the recipe and click like if you enjoy it. Subscribe for new recipes from me every single week, and I'll see you again soon. Bye, guys.